Hello and welcome to the Aces Up Your Sleeve podcast. I'm Dr. Cade Sharp.
And I am Sabrina Longley. And we're here today to talk to you about basically just being autistic in the world and relationships. So this is a podcast all about being, I guess, in a little bit. Yeah.
Leaning into your authentic self and making your needs known, meeting your needs, all the things. Yeah.
We are both A-spec autistic therapists. And we just really like talking about this stuff. And while we are both therapists, this is not therapy or advice. It's what we might do if we were in your position, our thoughts on the situation, things like that. But it is not therapy. And we highly encourage you to seek some therapy if you feel it would benefit you. And make sure that if you do that you seek, a therapist who's not like BetterHelp or one of those types of services, but someone who's going to be a really great match for you.
Yeah. Some of those services can be great for accessibility or financially. Like the downsides come in some of the types of care that's provided or who you're matched with. So
yeah.
If anybody wants to learn a little more about us and who we serve and what we do in therapy, you can check out episode 1. We go a little more into our backstory and background. But for today, we're talking about all things fall because the seasons are changing.
Yes, I'm so ready. I literally was standing in my driveway the other day, just basking in the cool breeze. And my neighbor, we're relatively new to this area. My neighbor looked at me and was like, "Hey there." And I was like, "Hi, it's so pretty out. I hope you're having a good day."
That is nice when the weather is good enough that you can just stand there and you're not too cold. You're also not sweaty. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Because I just run so warm that summer is hard for me in that way.
Same, absolutely. I'm excited for fall. Also, love a good Halloween celebration, so that's going to be awesome.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's lots of fun. We're going to a pumpkin patch. We'll probably end up going to a few pumpkin patches this year. And just it feels so much more easy to be outside in general for me, than to admire it from a distance or have to be outside but in a body of water or something.
Yes. Yeah, I know for some folks the sensory stuff that happens in fall is not appealing, but for me it definitely is, because over here where I'm at, our summers get up to 100, 105, and it's a dry heat, but it's still heat. It's gross.
Everyone says that. And I will say, so I'm a Southern US girly. I have never had the pleasure of dry heat. Ours has always been, would you like to breathe soup today?
Oh no.
Yeah, it's so bad. So I do understand why humidity makes heat worse. I get that part, but I have never actually experienced dry heat. I went to Austin one summer and it's oh, it's a dry heat. And I was like, this feels gross too. I don't know if it's just because I'm sweating so much that I'm creating humidity around me, but I don't really get that this is a better heat at all.
Yeah. No, I agree. The times I've visited the South in areas that were pretty humid, still not tolerable, but definitely here the downside of the dry heat is you get dehydrated so fast. And for someone who already forgets to drink water and would prefer an energy drink, it's not great.
Oh, yeah. No, I just spent the last week and a half dehydrated. And that shit is hell. It feels like you can't ever catch back up once you let it slip.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, our first question for today is pretty related to what we're already talking about, but the question was around what do we do when the weather changes rapidly throughout the day? So not just a dry heat, not just humidity and heat, it's fluctuating. It's that, and then suddenly the fall weather sets in and it's cooler or there's a breeze, but what do you do?
Yeah, I think this one I related to a lot. So I'm from North Carolina, and there's always memes that go around this time of year that's 6 a.m. winter, 9 a.m. fall, noon summer, and then 6 p.m. winter again. Because we do have a weather pattern that ends up being quite cold in the morning and like there's often frost or whatever, but by the middle of the day it's like 75 or 80. And like that whatever you planned for in that day has completely flip-flopped. And that's if there's not rain to come in and like cool it down and then heat back up and like fuck with it all different ways.
That sounds miserable. What do you do?
So like I said, I run hot, so I do it a little different than some folks. So I'll share a little bit what I do, and then also like what my friend who doesn't run as hot as I do does. I don't own anything long sleeved. Like I not any like original clothing item that is long sleeved. So I don't own any long sleeve shirts or dresses or anything like that. I do own like sweatshirts and like light jackets and a couple of little cute capes. Um, and I find that like that actually really helps because I'm never going to dress in a way that I can't immediately change what's happening on my body. Now, it is annoying because like I don't want to carry a jacket around all day. Um, and sometimes I've been known to pull the tie the jacket around your waist because you don't want to carry it with your hands move,
Yeah.
which is also hot. I don't get it. But that's a lot of times what I do is like a lot of layers that you can easily take off. Like even for sweatshirts, I don't like a pullover sweatshirt because that's really hard to get on and off. And
Yeah.
so I'll just sit there and I won't put it on because I'm like, I don't really want to like deal with getting all my hair through it and like getting it situated and like finding the fucking head hole. And so instead I get zip ups and ones that I can leave open so there can be breeze. I think I mentioned this last episode, but I carry a tiny fan with me everywhere I go,
Smart. Yeah.
like a little battery powered fan. Um, so that's typically what I do. And then I wear shoes that I can take off pretty easily because a lot of heat escapes and is held in by your shoes. Um, and then kind of just prepare for like I tend to feel that I can get warmer easier than I can get cooler. So I dress for as hot as it might possibly be and then add in whatever I would need to combat the cold more so than I would dress for like, oh, it's going to be really, really cold. And then I like am stuck and I can't. You can only get so naked. I don't know
Yeah.
what to tell you.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Like the layers, add them on, because then you can subtract them if you get there and you figure out it's actually a lot hotter than you expected. Yeah.
Yeah. I also find, and I talked about this last episode too, but like, I really like being the driver in my group of friends because then I have everything that I need in the car and I can leave
Mm-hmm.
stuff in the car. So, like, oh yeah, I brought this sweatshirt, but actually it's hot now. I'm going to leave it in the car, but I don't necessarily want to like forget it in a friend's car or like whatever. But like, when it's just my car, like, I have 2 or 3 sweatshirts that just live in my car, they don't ever come out. Um, and then I don't ever have to worry, like, oh, I didn't bring one, but I need one, or I don't know where it is. It's in the car. It'll be fine.
Yeah, similarly to our last episode with backpacks, I will just fold up. If I bring a flannel to wear over everything, fold it up, put it in there. I'm also like you where I don't like the pull over the head. Like the sensory of that messes up your hair. I don't know, I'm not into it. So I also strategically, it's got to have an open front, whether that's a flannel or a zip up, and then please let it fit in the backpack or leave it in the car or chuck it over the back of a chair if I'm at work.
Now, you're a beanie king. Tell me about how that is affected by like the changing weather.
I mean, depends. Beanies are great because if you are not feeling up to showering due
Mhm.
to disability, chronic health stuff, or just
How
the like
fucking annoying
executive
showering
function,
is.
yes, or the sensory change of like, if I know I've got to be locked in on a work thing, the last thing I need is also those added transitions beforehand. I'd rather shower at the end of the day. So beanies, hats, like that comes in handy. However, when it's boiling hot and you're in that bean, I mean, I suck it up and I just wear it and I get to air conditioning as soon as possible. But a lot of people would just take it off and bring a comb or a brush or whatever. Like they'd figure out a way to make that work. So I don't think there's a
Yeah.
wrong or right way to do it. But where I'm at too, I'm not in Seattle, so there's not a ton of rain. But I almost have to worry about that more than like the change of seasons throughout the day. It's that,
Oh.
yeah, rain could strike. So again, the hats kind of come in handy. Same with the flannel. Sometimes it's not to wear it because I need to be more warm. It's to wear it to protect everything else from the rain.
Yes. Well, and like, so when we were in Scotland, that was definitely something on my mind is like, I own a raincoat, um, and no umbrellas because I've tried owning umbrellas throughout time, but I never have them when I need them. I find carrying them such a pain in the ass. And then also like they're wet. So it's just dripping fucking water
Yeah.
everywhere. And I'm like, this actually destroyed like by the time I get in the car and the umbrella in the car, like the whole car is soaking wet. And I cannot tolerate like that is a sensory hell. It's actually like I don't do dishes in my house. I don't like I cannot tolerate being partially
No.
wet. Like it is the hardest part about showering for me. It's the hardest part about swimming, which I love to do, like all of those things. And so carrying an umbrella that has just been in the rain, even like I had at one point those ones that are in they go inside out. So
Yeah.
like the dry part is on the outside, it still drips. You know what
Yeah,
I
it's
mean? Like
just
it's
like full
still
of. Oh, I don't know about that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
no.
cuz so the wet part points down, but you're still dripping all
Okay.
over the floor.
Oh no.
And like I hate wearing shoes, so I want to be so then like I step in a puddle and my day is ruined. And
Wet
like
socks. I would be done with the day if my socks got wet and I
oh,
no.
luckily I fucking hate socks too. So it's usually just like the wet bottom of my
Um,
own human foot, which is still bad.
yeah.
Still very bad. But yeah, I think that is actually something that would be really, really hard for me is the like it could start raining and you need to be like prepared in some way for
Yeah.
that to be the truth. Mm, I don't know
No,
about all
it's
that.
yeah. Definitely it was worse back in the day, like growing up multiple stages of life. I've had much longer hair and that like wet hair against skin feeling, like ugh, no, I cannot.
Oh, there's actually a couple of pictures of me from my recent trip where so I right now have my hair in passion twists. So any black folks will know what I'm talking about, but they're relatively long. I think they're 14-inch. And so it's hair extensions that are twisted into my hair and they're like essentially it looks like I have long hair right now. And whenever I go swimming with my hair like this, I can't if it gets wet, it gets so fucking heavy.
Oh god, I bet. That's a long a lot of hair and it's
It's a
long.
lot of hair and
Yeah.
it's long, and so, like, what I
Mhm.
usually do is I tie a bunch of it up to the top of my head that I can, and then I braid the other parts, and then I tie them on the
Oh, that's
very top of my
smart.
head, and
That's
I look
smart.
a little unhinged, like, it's not, like, a classy look, we're not going for classy, but, like, yeah, that one day I did just decide to, like, "Oh, get it wet," and, like, if it's not hot enough for my hair to dry on its own pretty quickly, that sensation of like wet hair, oh my god, it is enough that I will be in like full like meltdown all day. It's
Yeah.
the same reason I
Yikes.
really am happy that I like cut my hair because my natural hair also takes about 12 hours to dry fully, um, from like washing and whatever.
Yeah.
And when it was longer, like that's just all on my like shoulders and back. No,
No. Oh no.
oh no.
Gosh. Yeah, speaking of swimming, what are you gonna do? Because I know you access an outdoor pool and you really enjoy that, but as the weather changes, do they at a certain point say, okay, pool's closed? Do they do it early because they're scared of what the weather will be
Oh,
like?
no. So they don't do it early. So our
Okay.
pool closes, I think, this week or next week. Um,
Okay. So kind
excuse
of
me.
late mid-September.
Yeah, late mid-September, and then it opens again right before Memorial Day. That's the first one, right? Um,
In May.
yeah. So, like, what's kind of nice is like because we're in North Carolina and it's so hot for so long, like our pool is open a good amount of the year. But they will close it because it's just going to be too cold. Um, and so there are some indoor pools in our area that we might look into. What's frustrating about those is that you just have to pay
Yeah.
to use them. Like, so we're gonna get into some racial history here. The fact that we don't have free public pools is because of racism, and so like if you're ever wondering like oh my god I want to go swimming but like all of these pools I have to pay to have membership to like there's one in a town not far from me that if you live in that town, like you have either free or much lower cost access to. Um, but and then anyone can go, but you have to buy passes to it basically. So we've been considering if we want to do that. I think we would need to really make sure that we would use it before we'd pay for it. It also might just be that like in the in the winter we do other things like it is. So for me there's also like I'm not going to go and take walks, which I like to do in the summer. It is too hot like quite quickly into yeah, like May. By the time June hits, it's I'm done. I'm not going to be just walking loose outside. Maybe in the darkness, like maybe once it's nighttime, maybe. But sometimes here even like at night it's over 75 degrees. Um and so that I think is like the switch out is in the summer I go to the pool, and in the like fall, winter, spring, I really really enjoy cold crisp air. And so like taking like little strolls and walks. Now there is a difference still because like my chronic pain likes the pool a lot better than like walking on hard concrete.
Yeah.
Um but you know, I use my inhaler and I use my cane, and I can usually get around pretty okay on walks.
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you that fall is a good time, at least where I live as well, for walks, getting out there and moving around. But, I know for some people it's way too muddy, rainy. Snow sometimes even starts in fall in some
Mhm.
areas. So, our
Oh, it
second
snowed.
question,
Oh, sorry.
yeah, I was just gonna say,
Um,
our second question for people who are listening, it's around, what do you do when you're trapped indoors in the fall
yeah.
and you don't get your vitamin D and there's more rain and all that stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, well, and, like, so in Wisconsin, when I lived in Wisconsin, um, it would frequently snow on Halloween. And
Whoa.
would have, like, been snowing, before then. So, like and then it snows all the way up. Like, one year it snowed on my uncle's birthday, which is April 20th. Um,
That's a
so
long snow season or potential
yeah,
for snow. Yeah,
it's a
wow.
hugely long and so, like, yeah, there's, like, a lot of the United States is, like, huge, and
Yeah.
the world is obviously even huger, and, like, there's such different experiences of the seasons that, like yeah, like, it is really nice. I like going to Wisconsin in the summer because you get all of that beautiful it, like, feels like fall there, like our fall here, there in the summer. Um, but, yeah, you have to really be mindful about, like, what's gonna be going on weather-wise, and so, yeah, walking definitely wouldn't be an option ever. We do sometimes get storms, but they're usually, like, late in the day storms, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I mean, that's tough. If whoever is thinking, like, what do I do when I'm trapped indoors? I assume would be in either not the position to go out and do some outdoor activities like the pumpkin patch you mentioned or going on walks.
Mhm,
Or perhaps it's like, what do you do with your friends? Because we don't really have like those third hangout spaces anymore. Everything costs something, everything
mhm.
expects something of you.
Yeah, I really struggle with that a lot, like, that idea of, like, there just is nowhere to be unless you're able and willing to, A, get there, B, park, and then, like, actually get from your car to the place or from whatever public transport or whatever, and then also, like, pay most of the time, right? Like, even little, like, coffee shops and stuff, you can't just go and sit. They're, like, gonna expect you to buy something, and it really sucks.
Yeah, I agree. And it puts a lot of pressure on everybody to, like, if you're in a friend group, like, does everyone have the money to attend? Can everyone physically get there? What would carpooling look like?
Mhm.
And, I assume some people enjoy outdoor activities maybe more than I do, and so they would want to still be outdoors.
Yeah, definitely. What do you usually do, like, when you are trapped indoors and,
See,
like
I don't mind. Like I'm
okay.
all for that. So it doesn't really change what I do. I do a lot of Zoom hangouts with friends, so it's not all that different. Happy to be away from folks who may be transmitting illness. I got a lot
That's
of,
fair.
yeah, disabled and chronically ill folks in my life that I got to protect, including myself. But I think the other piece of like being trapped indoors that I wish I could explore that I can't do because it would probably make me motion sick is VR, like virtual
Mm,
reality chats. I know a lot of people who, when they can't physically go out and hang with their friends, like they all just get onto VR, and there's games there. There's like those third spaces where you can just sit around in any environment you want to create. It could be from a movie, it could be based on something real. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually was just watching a YouTube video, and this person was talking about they like went into what was one of the most popular video games for a while and then like
Yeah.
is now like pretty dead, but they still met some people who like go in every day and they like know each other and they do all this stuff and like they really like built some community there. And it's so interesting how big that was. Like there was like Second Life and like all these different kind of virtual reality like community hangout spaces for a while that have really largely gone away. Like I actually met one of my best friends playing Overwatch back when Overwatch had a team builder function um that they took away, but like would just queue up with like a group of people, but you would, oh yeah, we all have mics and we're all talking and like whatever, and you actually get to know the group of people that you're playing with. And that was really nice for me because I didn't have a lot of friends who played video games and I didn't have a lot of like community that would play or would want to do that kind of thing. They weren't as much homebodies. And I think that like video games are such a like important part of building community if you are stuck inside.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, the internet in general, while it has its downsides, it also can be places to meet folks, especially people who are interested in similar things or perhaps have a similar neurotype, and it's easier to communicate sometimes.
Yeah, I actually the vast majority of the people who I currently talk to and interact with, I've met online. I met you online. I met all of our friends and financial besties online. I met my partner online, like on Facebook. I met my boss online and I got my job through online. Like all of it. Literally everything in my life has come, like, not every single thing, but like a vast majority of the people that I talk to and spend time with and like love and care about are relationships I built online.
Yeah, same. Yeah, my partner. I've got some friends, a few that I still talk to from high school, but a lot of my friend group are people I met online. That's
Yeah.
where I spend most of my time. And yeah, I think
Yeah.
people tend to overlook that.
Yeah. And I think like, so this question also is asking like, when you don't get vitamin D and like there
Yeah.
are also just parts of being outside that are helpful. I will say like I'm a big fan of being able to open windows in my house. Like it's obviously not the same as actually going outside, and it doesn't always work if it is like pouring rain or something, but like it's actually a really important part of like when I'm moving into a place is like what's the window situation? How can I like we've got a in this office space like a sliding glass door because it's out the back of our house, and I really want to put a screen door on that one and in the door on the out to the patio in the kitchen because I really like just sitting with the door open when it's
Yeah.
beautiful and breezy and like hearing the outside sounds, and my cat can sit and look out and like all of those things. And so I think that like that is a really important thing if it's like I'm trapped indoors because of chronic illness or because I can't be safe because other people refuse to, be COVID conscious or whatever. That is a big part for me is like I can still open the doors. I can still even sometimes like just sit right outside. I always romanticize the outside more than I'm actually like we have a little porch. I would like to get some little patio furniture for it so it's a little bit more comfortable. I can just sit out there, and the amount of time that I think about it and then don't is high.
Yeah.
So I sometimes try to get like curious with myself. Like I know for me a part of it is like we are a very sound-based household. I need the TV running and it's not outside. So I've been looking into like maybe getting a projector so I can set it
Oh, yeah.
outside, or like something like that where I can bring whatever it is that I'm needing and I can just do the same thing but outside. Um,
Smart.
because I think that like I'm more outsidey than outdoorsy. I don't want to go camping really unless it's like glamping and someone else is setting all the things up for me. I don't want to go hiking. I don't want to be where bugs are. I don't
Yeah.
wanna get caught in a rainstorm or in some mud, but I do wanna, like, sit out on my little porch, you
Yeah.
know?
Absolutely. And I think that's a good way to make it happen is figure out what do you need from the inside to make the outside a little more comfortable, especially if you want to be outside.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
And also on that vitamin D piece for listeners, like there are such things as sun lamps.
Mhm.
You'll want to make sure they're actually giving the right types of light because a lot of them are just not. It's just a bulb. It's a knockoff. So do a little research though and find that. Like we have one in our house because my mom loves the light, and in the fall and winter, like it really hurts her mental health and her
Yeah.
cognitive state to not have access to the sun.
Yeah, I actually have thought a lot about it. I'm my whole circadian rhythm is pretty sun based. So like in the summer, I am up a lot more. Like I wake up earlier and I go to bed later. But in the winter, I do find that I'm much more tired. So I've thought about looking into those um, for that as well. Also, there's not actually anything wrong with talking to your doctor and being like, "Hey, I'm a little worried about my vitamin D. Can we talk about what my options might be?" Um, there are so a lot of Black folks, we have like typically pretty low vitamin D. Um, and so I have been on and off of vitamin D supplements for years um, because my body just doesn't vitamin D well, even when I do go outside a lot. My guess is right now it's a little better than it has been before because like I have just been actually outside more. But there have been like summers where I spend the whole summer, like the summer of lockdown, or like when I was in my grad program and like I was taking summer classes and like that kind of stuff. There's still ways that you could foods you can eat
Yeah.
and like supplements and things like that that can play that role if you talk to your doctor and together determine that that's something that could be helpful for you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I didn't know that fact about black folks. That's interesting. It's the same for autistic people.
Yeah, so being both.
You got like the
Looking
double
fuck.
whammy.
Yeah, oh no, my numbers are bad. Like
Uh,
it's super
yeah.
concerning every time I go. The only reason I really so they make gummies, but I need to
Hmm.
take so many of the gummies that like
Hmm.
especially because like technically I should be on vitamin B12 and vitamin D. Um and so like then I end up taking like fucking 5 or 6 gummies. I'm like this
Yeah.
is a lot of but I don't take pills well, so it's like ideally I would just be taking because it's like a small little jelly pill guy for vitamin D. It's orange. I don't know if they do that on purpose, but it is.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's good to know. And I mean, some people have a hard time metabolizing the pills or gummies too. There's also liquid forms of a lot of these, but I don't know if I could do the taste. I watch my partner do it, and I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
know if I can try that.
Y'all can't actually see my face, but I hate everything about what has just happened from Kate's mouth.
That's gross. I know. I know.
I hate liquid shit. Like that. No, just that there's definitely too much taste happening there for me.
Yeah.
Um I
And
do
there's
think that
no
like
masking the flavor either. You can't
no,
just mix it with something fun. No.
not at all. I do think if you're trapped indoors, like another thing to consider is like there's a lot you can do. You can invite friends over if you have the space to do it, or ask your friends to invite you over. We often will do craft nights at my house. So like, all right, we're gonna make cards. Everyone like we're gonna pull all the card making stuff out, or we're gonna paint pumpkins, or like you can still do fun fall activities. Last year, my friend's grandparents own like a farm and orchard and shit, and she brought over a shit ton of like apples and potatoes and peppers and like all that, and we just spent all day baking fall goods and watching like this little kid TV show called Just Add Magic, which is these
Never.
girls who use kitchen witchery essentially. And
Okay.
it's like a little kid show on Amazon. But like there's still definitely ways to get into seasonal spirits in your house. Um and I think it like if you really really want to be outside, it's not going to mean that it feels okay that you're not, but I do think that it like at least helps distract and like means that you still can have a good time within the limitations of your body.
Yeah. Yeah, and one more thing before we wrap up, like when we talk third plate or third spaces that don't actually cost, uh,
Mhm.
check into your library if you've got a local
Yeah.
library, because sometimes they'll host more events in fall and winter because they know it's harder for people to get outdoors. So
Mhm.
if you've got one within traveling distance, it might be worth checking it out.
Yeah, that's a really, really good point. I love my local library, and what's really nice is a lot of places have more than one. So, like, my city has like 4 or 5 branches, and they'll each do different shit. Um,
That's cool.
and then like neighboring cities. So another thing, like if you really like reading cozy books when you're inside, or even just to like again like something to do while you sit outside. Um, some libraries will let you get a library card from them if you're in a neighboring county. So
Yeah.
my partner and I actually each have 6 or 7 library cards. Um,
Hmm.
as we have some from old places that we've lived. But then also there are like 2 or 3 different counties near us that, like, because we're neighboring counties with them, they will let us get their library cards as well. Um, and that means that you can also go and like engage in the activities in those libraries too.
That's cool. Very
Yeah,
cool.
it is.
Well, thank you all for joining us. Hopefully, you've started percolating like a fall plan and what you might want to do. You can expect new episodes weekly from us on Tuesdays, and you can find me over at cadesharp.com and Sabrina at Radical Insights Consulting on Facebook or Instagram.
If you have any questions for us, you can visit neurokink.org/AUYS and send it our way. We definitely want to have like questions and stories from y'all that we can be answering and engaging with. And now we're going to jump over to our Patreon to record Upping the Ante, our exclusive bonus content. It's over at patreon.com/aces up your sleeve podcast, and we hope to see you there.